The freemium business model can be powerful, but it can also backfire on you. Let's dig into how it works and some of the ways it could go wrong, and one alternative that might work out better for you, all after the boot. Welcome to Fill the Boot, the science of startups. I'm your host, Lance Cottrell, and I'm here to help you navigate that nearly vertical learning curve you're going to encounter as you launch your startup. I know what it's like, I've been there myself, and I have helped countless other founders along their journeys. This episode is part of our entire series on running your business, and I'll put a link, I think, up there that will take you to the entire rest of the series. And of course, all of our content is available also as a podcast, so you can get it on the go, or as a blog if you prefer to read your information or want to go back to check on it later. Let's start by defining the freemium business model, just so we're all on the same page. The idea with a freemium is that you're giving away some basic version of your service and encouraging people to pay for the full version of the service. And the nice thing about this is it removes the barrier to entry. They're able to get in and start experiencing what you're doing without having to cough up any money at the beginning. A key question when you're setting up a freemium business model is, what is the gate? What differentiates between that basic model and your premium model? The most common answer to this is features. There's some set of features that everyone gets and some set that only certain people get access to. Now, one of the tricky things is your customers don't know really how valuable that will be until they get access to it. You can try to explain what they'll get, but in many cases, it's not really visceral until they get to experience it. Now, the other choice is gating on usage. So all the features are available, but only in small amounts. So you can send 50 emails or load up 3 gigabytes of data or ask 20 queries or something like that. Just enough to give people a real taste of what they're getting. But if they're engaging with it regularly and getting value from it, now they actually need to pay for it. And this is, for example, a classic example with Dropbox, where minimum storage is free, but as soon as you start becoming a heavy user, now you're going to pay, and they've got you because you already have a lot of data loaded on there. And when you're putting together your model, you need to remember that only a very small fraction of freemium users will convert to the paid premium service. So say 2 to 5% is pretty common. If you're hitting 10% in a consumer business, that is outstanding, but you certainly shouldn't be expecting to hit numbers like that in your financial projections. Now, B2B is a little different. B2B freemium often runs meaningfully higher, but it is still always a small fraction of your users who will be paying that premium price. There's 2 common ways in which the freemium model breaks for people. The first is that your free version is simply too good. Most of the features people need are already in there. They've got all the usage that they realistically need on a day-to-day basis. I mean, there will be a few people who find the enhanced version worthwhile, but most people can get along just fine on the free version. And this leads to a free rider problem where most of your users end up permanently on that. Not just the 80-90%, but 99.9% of your users are on that. Now you're not generating revenue. That can kill your company. The flip side of that is that your free version isn't good enough. And the gotcha there is people then won't use the free version actively enough to appreciate how this fits into their life, the kind of value that they're going to get out of it, become attached to it and want to upgrade. And so again, you now have no paying users. On the flip side, you don't have any free users costing you money either. The way to pick the right cutoff is experiments and interviews. You need to go in and talk to your customers, talk to your potential customers, and understand exactly what generates enough value for them to want to engage, and where they would really appreciate having enhanced service that adds enough value for it to make sense for them to pay. And you'll want to do experiments, including things like A/B testing, to get real data about how they behave, not just how they say they will behave. Now, before I go on to the alternate version of freemium, which I think is really pretty effective, I'd like to ask you to do me a favor. You know what it is. Like, subscribe, ring that bell. It makes a huge difference to me and the channel and ensures that you get shown more of this content and other content like it, because algorithm pays attention to the preferences that you express. But it won't always show you new episodes, so I strongly encourage you to head over to feeltheboot.com and subscribe to our newsletter, Bootprints. It's not spammy, it's very low volume, and it only comes out when episodes like this come out, so you'll know what's going on. But it also gives you access to my free office hours, so you can get on my calendar. If you need more immediate help or longer chunks of time, I also have paid options. All of that is over at feeltheboot.com/advising. So the twist on the freemium model is what's called the reverse trial or reverse freemium model. And this works well where the sets of features that you're offering to the premium and basic users are significantly different. And you're going to run into that problem of people not being able to appreciate it. And the solution is you give them access to everything at first, all at once. So they immediately have access to all the features, all the capabilities, all the usage, and then after a period of time, it degrades on them. And they're now forced to choose whether to give that up. And one of the nice things about this is it plays into human psychology and the idea of loss aversion. People hate losing things they have more than they like gaining things they don't have. And so giving it to them and taking it away is more effective than dangling the carrot in front of them in the first place. So you have two different sets of features, and this really only works with differentiated features, but you have two choices of how you decide when it degrades. It can degrade at a certain time. So you get 30 days, 60 days, 7 days, whatever seems most appropriate to allow people to get their hands dirty, experience those premium features before you threaten to pull them away. Or you can gate it based on usage. I tend to think that's more effective because I can't tell you how many times I've installed some tool and then have never gotten around to even using it once before my trial expired, at which point I generally give up and walk away. Whereas if you gate it on usage, you know the person has engaged with it, has used it, has taken advantage of it before you start to pull it away. And so that really ensures that people want the thing that you're providing. Now this works really well when the service that you're providing doesn't carry any significant costs for you when it's sitting unused. But I think that's most SaaS kind of solutions, so it can work for a lot of companies. One case where this really doesn't work is where there's not any persistence in the account over time. And so someone could come in and just set up free account after free account after free account using different throwaway email addresses each time to allow them to continue to coast on that freemium period before it cuts off, getting access to the full range of your services and costing you all the money it takes to provide this. So in scenarios where that's likely, you may need to make sure that you've got some other kinds of gates in place to prevent that free rider issue, much less of a problem in general in a B2B context. If you've ever used a freemium or reverse freemium business model for your solution, let us know down in the comments. How did that work out and what tips and tricks have you learned from that experience? That'll go a long ways to helping other entrepreneurs within this community. Thanks for watching this episode. I hope you found it useful and interesting. If you did, please do the usual. Like, subscribe, ring that bell. If you have any questions I didn't answer, please reach out and get on my calendar for some advising. I'd love to talk to you about whatever issues you're running into with your startup. And if you'd like some more thoughts on how to conduct customer interviews, you might want to check out this episode up there. And until next time, ciao.